Let's look at logicals. Logicals are like true, false, to evaluate expression like is 2 really smaller, is 3 really smaller than 2. So that is of course false. False, this false down here, this is not a string, that's a logical. So I can construct a vector, a logical 1, that contains such false, trues. Notice how the color changes. True, we're still in black form, and now we're in blue form. So here I'll have a vector of class logical. Okay? And logicals, as I said, are the output of logical operations. Equal, smaller, larger. So, for example, I can compare elements of the vector 1, 2, and 3 with, say, the value 1.1. Okay? Operations are element-wise, so the first one, 1 is of course smaller than 1.1, the remaining one not, and hence the result is a vector true, false, false. Of course, I can change here signs. I can change here the right-hand side to 1, still the same result, but now if I add larger or equal, I get true, 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 true. Okay, so here we have a comparison, smaller, larger, smaller, equal. Or I could also have even equal, equal, equal. There it is. Okay. We use those operators, of course, also to access elements. Okay? Maybe we recall, let's have a vector A that is, say, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and I would have all elements of A that are smaller than 4. So A smaller than 4, of course, this gives me a vector, a vector of trues and falses, and now I can access, and this is the result that I get. Okay? There are quite a few operators on logicals. So, for example, logical AND, logical OR, and I'll refer here just to this help page here. Okay, this is the AND, logical AND operator, the logical OR operator. Let me illustrate that. Maybe, let's see, I can compare L1 logical AND with, say, false, false, false. Let's pick just 3 times false. And then the result is false, false, false. Okay, I have either double false or just one false in both of them. The result with this single AND operator is a vector. If I would do an overall test, then I would have to have the so-called double AND. So the result is a single false. Such a single false may be required if I use programming flow control if-else. So if, say, my element A, first element A, is smaller than 4, then print, say, small, else print large. And of course, we have a small element here. I can also access and use the construct which. Okay, so which elements of A are smaller than 4? The first and the second. So I could put those, which again also in A or in some other construct there. Okay. Here we have which, here we have flow control. This flow control has a single control. There is an alternative one, maybe I'll just add it here without going too much into the details. If else, so whenever A is smaller than 4, then print small. Otherwise, if not, then print large. Small, 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 large, large, as we had. Okay. I think that closes here this logical setting here.